Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another awesome, amazing week of my live show segment here on Facebook. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Kojo, or you can just call me Kojo. And this is the bonus show. This is a late night show, an extra that I'm throwing in because I was not able to do my morning show this morning, right? Breakfast with Dr. Kojo. I wasn't able to do it. So I'm throwing in a bonus show where we're going to talk about ways to help out a depressed friend, right? So before we get into it, and I'm excited to get to this topic, I want you all to go ahead and use the comment section to let me know who you are and where you're checking in from, right? So my name is Kojo. I'm checking in from what was a very sunny day here in Los Angeles, California, and I'm here to do this live stream. So I would love to know your name, where you're checking in from, and let's go ahead and get into it. Yee! All right, so Shan Johnson. Shan, what's going on? How you doing? We got Deja Robinson. Deja, what's up? Lucille in the house. What's up? Joe, what's good? What's good? Antonio's been waiting on this. Awesome. Lauren says, yes, we don't want the stressy, depressy lemons. Yeah, we gotta have happy vibes. Gotta have happy vibes. We got Deja from Cincinnati, Ohio. Kristen from San Mateo, California. Lauren from Gainesville. I'm assuming that's Georgia. Lauren from North Richland Hills, Texas. Okay. Debs, how you doing? Got Vicky from Quebec. Okay. Nala Lee checking in from Houston. Sean checking in from Inglewood. Okay. LA in the house. Casey from Pensacola. Ashley, Virginia. Danielle, Florida. Ashley, North Carolina. Cook up a friend some delicious vegan food. Yeah. If you have a friend who's depressed, maybe some delicious vegan food could help cheer them up. But I have a couple of tips, and I hope that they'll be helpful for you all. Jamie says, I don't know how to help my partner. Well, Jamie, we're going to go over a couple of tips. Hopefully you learn a thing or two today. All right. New York love in the house. Missoula, Montana. I know we had a Titans player who was from that area. Mark Mariani. Denise from Kansas City. Claire from Denver. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about it. 3 ways to help a depressed friend, right? So while we talk on this live stream, we're going to talk about how to help out a depressed friend, but we're also going to talk about a little bit about what depression is and what it can look like, right? So that way you know what to look for. And hopefully these tips are helpful, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Gabriel says, what's good? Gabriel, what's going on? How you doing? Someone said, nobody warned me about my forehead. What's wrong with my forehead? All right, the first tip on how to help out a friend who could be going through depression. And this also works for sadness, right? If you have a friend who's going through a hard time, or somebody who's burnt out, this could also be helpful, right? Laura Jean from Tennessee. Okay. The first thing that could be helpful is offer to help them with the small things, right? If you have a friend who's depressed and you help them out with the small things, that can go a long way, like a long, long way. And why is this? Let's talk about why this is the case, right? With depression, whether you're new to my live stream or not, with depression, it can make the small things very difficult, right? And what are the small things? Taking a shower, right? You might not be able to help your friend take a shower, but follow me on this. Taking a shower can be difficult. Brushing your teeth can be difficult. Balancing your checkbook can be difficult. Getting out of bed can be difficult. Making food can be difficult. Somebody was saying they can cook their friends some delicious vegan food. That works, right? If I'm depressed and somebody brings me vegan food, I'm not going to be, going through like, is this gluten free or I'm just happy to get the food, right? So offering to help with the small things is so helpful because that's one of the most frustrating things about depression. Think about it, right? You're a grown adult and you're going through your life and you're trying to figure out why is my room messy for the second or third week in a row? Why can't I get out and be social? Why am I struggling with everything, right? And I saw Kelly O'Neill in the chat says, I need this tonight. I am the depressed friend. So Kelly, if you're the depressed friend, right? And you have people around you who are saying, Kelly, I want to help you out. What can I do? Is the small things that can be very helpful, right? Now, the likelihood of your friend coming over to give you $50 million is low, right? But if they come and help you out, to help you clean your apartment a little bit, help you make some food, you're going to feel like you have $50 million, right? You're going to feel like $1 million because you finally have help with the small things, right? And I feel like the small things with depression, when you can't do it, it hurts your self-esteem because you think back to your former self, right? Your former self that wasn't depressed, that was able to get things done on time and get to work on time and take care of things. And sometimes you're trying to grieve a previous version of yourself that was capable and able to do things, right? So the small things go a long way. So if you have a friend right now who's going through it, they don't have to have a diagnosis of major depressive disorder, right? Your friend doesn't have to take Prozac or Zoloft or Lexapro or Celexa. But if you have a friend who's struggling, just know that the small things go a long way, a long way. And if you think something is too small to where you're like, oh, I don't think it's helpful if I, wash my friends, my friends' crate for their dog. You never know. You never know. So never underestimate how helpful your help is. So that's the first thing. Never underestimate how helpful any help is, regardless of how small it is. All right. And before we get to the second tip, let me go ahead and look through a couple of these comments. Christian says, "Hey brother from Kentucky, just want to say thank you." Hey Christian, I appreciate you. And I love this platform and being able to do this. I like hearing myself talk, right? But I like hearing myself talk about things that can help other people. So I appreciate you, my guy. Jennifer says it's so hard for people to understand. And Jennifer, that's the whole point and purpose of this live, right? People don't understand depression. So if you have depression and your friends don't understand it, then this is for your friends, right? To know that, hey, the small things, like you might be stuck in bed and you might be trying to work on your to-do list. If your friend comes over and you're like, all right, I'm going to grab your pencil and I'm going to grab your notebook right here, right? And I'm going to help you out. Like, let's make the to-do list together. Let's body double, the same ADHD technique I've been talking about. Those things go a long way, a long way, right? Clean their environment goes a long way. And Sarah has left her own tips here. I let them know I'm here and they can come to me. Number one, listen to them and not give advice. Ooh, Sarah, I like that. Number three, help with small things. They may need groceries, cooking food, caring for their kids when possible. So we're gonna give Sarah the first love of the show for the week. I like what Sarah's saying here, and y'all keep in mind when we talk about these tips, like this is real life. Like for the person who's depressed out there, who needs help with the groceries, they need help cooking food, and they feel like they're a bad parent because they can't take care of the kids. If you are a friend to that person, coming over on a Tuesday or Wednesday when you don't have much going on, just hanging out for an hour, just being around them can go a long way, a long way. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And my family says snap out of bed. Well, Tara, tell your family to watch this live. I think they'll like it. Maybe they can, learn a thing or two. What if your parents try telling you that you're just acting and don't believe you? So, James, a couple of things here, right? So some parents, and look, I come from a foreign background. We come from Ghana, West Africa. So, if you ask all of my OGs back in Africa, they're going to say that depression doesn't exist back there, right? They're going to say depression is like an American thing. So sometimes they don't understand. So if you have a parent who doesn't understand for whatever reason, explain to them a little bit, but don't over explain, because if you're depressed, then you only have so much energy to work with. You're going to burn yourself out, right? But let them know, hey, I'm going through this, and you would hope that they would respect you, right? But sometimes people don't understand it, and I don't want you all to be trying to, like, convincing somebody of something that they don't think is real is almost a waste of time. But it depends on who the person is to you. If it's a random person off the street, you can just disregard it, right? But if it's your mom, it would help if your mom knew that you were going through a hard time, right? So whatever you can do, take it, but don't burn yourself out, okay? Tammy says, no one understands. Husband's first words to me were, do you know how that makes me feel, when I told him my diagnosis? And Tammy, look, and that's why it's so important to have this conversation, because a lot of times you might say, I'm depressed. And then your partner could say, oh, is it because of me? Or do you need therapy to be with me? Do you need meds to be with me? So sometimes, not that they're a bad person, but they don't understand it, right? So that's why we're here. And that's why we're trying to learn, right? A hot shower ending with some cold water helps. So, okay. Now, I've actually done that before. I like taking not fully cold showers, but partially cold showers. All right. So the second tip here of what could be helpful in terms of helping out a friend who's depressed. Number two, talk about your experiences with sadness. And I'll go back up and I'll try to answer a couple of questions. But talk about your experiences with sadness, right? So you can be everybody who's watching right now, the 6 people who are watching, we've all had moments when we were sad. Every single person who's watching has had a moment when they were sad. All of us, right? But not all of us have experienced a depressive episode, like clinically, like 2 weeks of, being sad for the majority of the day, if not every day, losing interest in things, having a hard time doing things, not sleeping enough, sleeping too much, not eating enough, eating too much. Not everybody has experienced a full out depressive episode, but we've all been sad before. So if you have a friend who's depressed, there's a lot of shame and embarrassment that comes with that. So telling your friend about your own experiences with sadness, it doesn't have to be a full out depressive episode, but letting your friend know, all right, so I've been here before, and I might be able to understand where you're coming from, and I'm here to support you, and you can tell your friend, hey, when I feel sad, I like to go for long walks, I like to take cold showers, I like to binge watch Breaking Bad, right, or whatever it is. But the whole point and purpose of it is your friends don't want to feel like they're alone, or if you're depressed, you don't want to feel like you're alone by yourself, because that's just a bad feeling. You're gonna feel like you're the only person on earth who's depressed and unproductive, and everybody else is living their life, and everybody else is all productive and doing their thing. James, anytime. Hector says, I've reached a point where anyone who talks to me in the house irritates me. What can I do? So Hector, when it gets like this, you can ask for a little bit of space. Tell the people in your family, hey, like, one of those days, I just need a little bit of space, right? It's better to say that than for your family to be trying to talk to you, like, hey, Hector, what's going on? Or, hey, Dad, for your people to talk to you, and then you snap, right? Because when you snap, you say some things that you might not be able to take. Actually, when you snap, you can't take the words back, right? Because you already said it. So being able to be preemptive is helpful when it comes to, regulating your mood. And let me get through a couple of the earlier. It's right. It's hard to focus with depression. So once again, if you're trying to explain to somebody that you're going through it and you already can't focus, it's making it that much harder. You can't get your thoughts across, right? And Ashley says, you're helping me teach my normal average husband that mental health is real and is different for so many people. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you. And they should have been teaching us this in school, right? But they were trying to tell us that we have like 9 planets and Saturn, and all that stuff is cool. Like, I'm not knocking like science stuff because I can't name all the planets right now. But I'm saying that in school we should. I feel like I should have learned this in 3rd grade. But that's neither here nor there. We're adults now, and we're learning it, right? So we're doing the best that we can. Denise says, I needed this. I've been battling functioning depression. I have a lot of trouble reaching out to others. So Denise, first of all, thank you for sharing. And I'm hoping that, we can all get through this together. So, you have a whole community of people who support you, even if you're going through it. But I will say this, when somebody is like low and they're going through it, it is going to be hard to reach out for help, right? So that's why it's helpful to have a friend who will go out of your way to say, hey, I'm coming over today. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to help you out. Because if you have a hard time reaching out for help, then how do people know that you're struggling, right? They may not know. So, All right, Rob, take care, bro. Yeah, it's the homie heading out. All right. Zoe, chill out. All right. 1 second. My dog's tripping. 1 second. Zoe. Go. Zoe. Go. I'm so loud, so I'm letting chill out. All right. Okay. All right. All right, bro. Take care. Rob, I'll hit you up after live, bro. I'll hit you up after my live. Okay, all right. Take care, boss. Yeah, all right. So Alex is Alex, I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. No, the video's not frozen. I should be back on if y'all can see me. I should be back on. So all right. Let me get back up to where we were at. All right. So I like this right here. Let me give Lauren a love the show because I saw something. I'm like, I gotta clap for this. So Lauren says, body doubling and showing love whenever my partner and I aren't able to complete a task we hoped to has helped make those tasks easier in the moment, but also removes the stress moving forward. Awesome, Lauren. That's very helpful. Body doubling. Think about what body doubling is, right? Body doubling is you sitting there while somebody else is getting the work done. And we've already talked about how this is helpful for people with ADHD, but you're offering your time, right? So if you have a friend who's depressed, you're body doubling. So you're there while they're doing something, right? You're showing them love by offering them your time. And I learned something very interesting this past year, right? I've learned that between time and money, people would part with their money before they part with their time, right? You would rather pay money than to wait somewhere, right? So our time is the most valuable resource that we have by far, like by far, right? So if you are going to take your time and sit with your friend while they're struggling and you could be doing other things, that says a lot about you as a friend. It says that you're the type of friend that I would like to have as a friend, right? I do that with my partner while I'm full. So Jamie, like I'm a big fan of body doubling with everything. Like I'm a big fan. Like in laundry sucks. I hate doing laundry. I hate folding clothes. I hate all of it. Right. So that's a good thought right there. All right, let me answer this question real quick, Josh. It might be off topic, but I caught the question, so let me answer it, and then we'll get back to the tips. What do I do if a friend is diagnosed bipolar and is in manic phase, but none of his family do anything? All right, so a little bit different from depression, but bipolar does have depression as well. But let's talk about the mania. But Josh, it's funny because this week we will have a live about mania. Like we will talk about it. But you asked the question, so this is what I would do. My friend is diagnosed bipolar and they're in a manic phase, but none of his family do anything. All right, Josh. The very, very first thing that I'll do right here, and I hope you're still listening. The first thing that I would do is make sure that they're safe, right? So with mania, like think that's the main concern that we have, that they're safe. Make sure that they're taking care of themselves. Make sure that they're taking care of their affairs, right? If your friend is manic and they're driving 100 miles per hour on the highway, like put an end to that right now. If they're spending money excessively, put an end to that as soon as possible. If they're doing risky things like driving fast or binge drinking a whole lot of alcohol or dabbling into substances or drugs or impulsive sex, that can have painful consequences. Do your best to try and try and bring that to a stop to keep them safe. Once they're safe, then you can worry about some of the maintenance stuff. But safety is the priority here. Safety is the number one priority by far. So if that includes taking your friend to a hospital, the ER, that might be what you have to do, right? But the number one thing to do here is to make sure that they're safe. Like make sure that they're safe. And James says mania is invincible, right? Yeah. So that's the thing with mania. If somebody is manic, you feel like you can do anything in the world. Like there's nothing that you can't do. You feel like you're a superhuman. So if that's how they feel, then what they might get themselves involved into, there's no telling. So make sure that they're safe, treat them with love and respect, right? You don't have to like judge them or anything like that. Don't make them feel like a bad person, but whatever you can do to make sure that they're safe, that's the number one priority. Like that's it. So if I can leave you anything, that's what I would say. So I hope you safety is key. Yeah, safety is key. I hope you saw that. Safety is key. And we are cheerleaders for our family, for our friends and family, and encourage them. Please use some of those positive comments for yourself. Think of what you would say to a loved one if they're struggling and try to take your advice. So I gotta give Andrea. Is it Andrea or Andrea? I'm not sure what it is, but I gotta give you a love of the show. So the reason why I like this is because the book that I just finished writing, and it'll come out in December, I have like a chapter where I talk about this exact thing, about taking what you tell friends and tell yourself that. So if you're struggling or if you're going through a hard time, the same way you talk to a friend to be helpful to yourself that same way. All right. Okay. All right. Now let me get to the third tip, right? So the first tip on how to help out a friend who is depressed, number one, offer to help them with small things, right? Number two, talk about your experiences with sadness. And number three, I'm going to post it right here. The third tip, tell them why they're a good friend. And I'm looking forward to the live stream that we have on Mania, because it looks like a lot of people have questions on that. And I have a lot of tips. Let's just say that I have a lot of tips. But just keep in mind, with Mania, safety is key. Keep them safe. That's the most important thing. Make sure that they're safe, right? The third thing to do to help out a depressed friend, tell them why they're a good friend, right? Think about if you're hanging out with your friend, right? And you ask your friend, why do you like me? Why do we hang out, right? Then it's gonna force them to think about all of your positive qualities. Same thing with if you're like dating somebody. You're like, "Oh, why do you like me? Why do you want to date me?" They're gonna tell you about all the reasons that all the things about you that they like, which is why they're with you, right? And this is important for a couple of reasons, because if you're down on your luck and you're struggling and you're just having the worst possible day, your mindset is not your mind. You're not thinking about all of the things that you're good at. You're thinking about everything that you suck at. You're probably talking bad to yourself. You're probably convinced that you're the most unproductive person in the world. Nobody wants to hang out with you. I have no friends, right? So if you're going through it and you have a friend who comes and they're sitting with you, right? Whether they're body doubling or they're showing love or they're spending time with you, if that friend tells you why you're a good friend, right? Or if you ask why are you friends with me, right? They're gonna list off a lot of qualities. And while you're going through it, that's the perfect time to hear those qualities, because you may have forgotten everything that you were good at because you're going through it, right? So it's very helpful. Sometimes you just have to hear why, like why, you know, people want to be around you, because there's a reason why people want to be around you, right? You're offering something to them. There's no friendship that's going to last for a long time that's one-sided, right? If every single time y'all hang out, if every time y'all hang out is one-sided, that's not going to be a friendship that lasts for a long time, right? But a good friendship that's built on, respect and honesty and loyalty, those friends, like, there's something that you're giving your friend, and likewise there's something that they're giving you that makes you want to continue being their friend, right? So you really need to hear that, especially when you're struggling. um and Elena says, what about if you're both depressed? Well, hey, Elena, if you all are both depressed, right? Whenever you have a moment where you have some energy to help them out, you go help them out. And also, helping people out makes you feel better by yourself, right? So what I would say here is, what's the simplest thing that either one of y'all can do to help out the other, right? Because let's say you're both going through it. Now, make your focus how to make the other person's day better. And for the other person, they should make their focus on how to make your day better, right? And then you can make it like a little competition where you're trying to help each other out. But it's not high effort things, low effort. Like low effort only. High effort is, running a marathon or, 3-hour workouts. No, 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 no. Low effort things only. I don't want y'all to stress yourself out. Very, very low effort. Very low effort. All right. And Citrus, I pray that all of you find the help you need. You're all such wonderful souls and deserve the best this life has to offer. I believe in my heart that you shall overcome. Much love. I think that deserves a love of the show. I like that. And I feel that way about everybody who's watching. I don't know where people are watching from, and I don't know what brings you to this live stream, but I hope that you learn something. I hope you find a reason to laugh and to figure out, like, what is something that you can key in on right now that you enjoy about life, right? Elena, no problem. I appreciate you for that question, right? And EK, hey, EKA, I appreciate it. You have to give yourself some credit too. Of course, you found the content. I guess shout out to Facebook and the algorithm for putting it in front of your face, but you put the work in. So I'm proud of you, EK. Eliza Ellenson. That's a dope name. All right. I love that. Learning to match my partner's willingness to help me is a big one. Right. And Becca, sometimes it's hard to accept the help ourselves, right? It can be hard to accept the help, so it takes a while to open yourself up to allowing somebody to come in and help you, right? Because if you're accepting help, you have to first realize, oh wow, like, I'm struggling, number one. Number two, I'm depending on somebody else to get somewhere. And it feels like whenever you're too aware of the fact that you're depending on people for other things, then you feel like you're not self-sufficient, right? But don't think like that, because right now we need a little bit of help, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Let me see what some of the new comments. This is my wife's phone and Facebook. She joined your group to better understand my ADHD, and I'm using this stream to help her with her depression right now. We love you. Kate. Hey, I love y'all too. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate you all, tuning in to learn. And like, even whenever we do these streams, there's always somebody in here who drops like a couple of things that I never thought about, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll keep that in mind for the next stream, or something that I'll extract from the live myself, and I'll use it, for myself personally. So I do appreciate you all. Tommy saying the attitude of saying nothing works is why nothing is working for you. Negative begets negative. So there's some truth to what you're saying here, but if somebody's going through a hard time, and every single day they're taking losses, like there's an L every day, L. Your car breaks down, you lose your job, you're grieving somebody, a bill that you were gonna pay, you forgot to pay it, so there's an extra fee. Like if life is just kicking your ass right now, right? It's going to be easy to be negative. So sometimes people just need a break, like one positive thing for them to be like, all right, okay, I think things are going to turn around, right? So, I don't judge people for having a negative mindset, but that's when, if you love life, and if you're coming from a place where you have that energy to bring it out to people. So like, that's what I do a lot. Like, I did that for my patients, I do that for y'all. And if I'm not in the position to where I have that, then I'm gonna just go, retreat to the side until I can get to that point. Jesse, I appreciate you. All right. Ross is saying, let me answer Ross's question, and I'll put the 3 things on the screen. I'm definitely having a hard time being optimistic anymore. Any suggestions? All right. So Ross, I'm happy you asked this question. If you're having a hard time being optimistic, like I said, number 1, don't judge yourself, because if you've been going through a difficult time and there's nothing to be happy about, then what is there to be happy about? There's nothing to be happy about, right? So that's just the reality of the present. But if you're having a hard time being optimistic, at least try and be curious, right? So if you're curious about tomorrow, like, what are you curious about? Like, tomorrow's Tuesday. What's gonna happen on Tuesday? Is there anything that you're all right? Like, what's gonna happen Tuesday? Like, if you can stay curious and tell yourself, all right, I'm waking up Tuesday morning, I want to see how good the day is going to get for me. Like, Ross, that's what I'll do if I were you tomorrow. You wake up tomorrow, say, I want to see how good today is going to be for me. Say that in the morning and see what happens after that, right? But you have to, like, I do acknowledge that if you've been going through a hard time, there's nothing to be happy about. Like, if somebody's gone through the worst time in the world, like, we're not gonna sit there and be laughing and clapping, because you're going through it. But I want you to challenge yourself and challenge the universe to say, hey, all right, I'm waking up today. What is gonna happen tomorrow? Like I need something good to happen, right? And come back on tomorrow's show and let us know let us know how tomorrow is. Tomorrow we go live 6 p.m. PST. I'll probably go live earlier, like maybe 5 o'clock California time, so 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Yeah, we'll do that. 5 o'clock tomorrow, PST, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Come back and let me know how your day was. Like, try that. And if anybody else who's watching, try that and let me know how your day was. Now, I'm going to try it myself tomorrow. I'm going to ask the universe, and I'm going to say, hey, I want to see how good the day can get for me. Let me know. So I'm going to be interested in seeing that. All right. And let me stay curious is a new one. Yeah, Becca, because look, I've dealt with a lot of patients who, for the nature of what I do for a living, like, I've dealt with a lot of patients who are chronically suicidal, meaning that every day that they're alive, they're really just thinking of how they can not be alive because they have nothing to live for, as they say, right? So if I'm trying to get somebody to be hopeful and they don't want to be hopeful, if I can get you to be curious, then you'll stick around and you'll see life get better. So that's my thought. That's my thought. All right. And right here, this is the 3 tips, right? So offer to help them with the small things. If you're trying to help out a depressed friend. Number 2, talk about your experiences with sadness. And number 3, tell them why they're a good friend, right? So those are my 3 tips. Oh my gosh, I don't have any water. I'm out of water. I gotta go scoop up some water, and I'll scoop up some water so we can do the water break tomorrow. But those are my 3 tips, And I hope this video reached the people that really needed it. And that's gonna be our challenge. Actually, let me put that challenge in here. Well, I told Ross. All right, challenge. I'm gonna call it the Tuesday challenge. It's not just gonna be Ross who does it, it's gonna be all of us. So wake up Tuesday morning and ask the universe. I want to see how good today will be for me. All right, so we're gonna try that. That's gonna be our Tuesday challenge, right? So everybody who's watching this, especially if you're watching it live, you know what to do. So we're gonna wake up tomorrow morning. So before I hit the gym tomorrow, because I hit the gym in the mornings, that's how I start my day. Before I hit the gym, before I talk to anybody, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and say, all right, I'm gonna ask the universe. I want to see how good today will be for me. Show me, right? So I'll let y'all know if I find $20 on the floor somewhere, or if something good happens, right? I don't know. Something good might happen tomorrow, but I'm gonna prepare for a good day to happen tomorrow, and I'm ready for it, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And Tommy Lee, hey, appreciate you. And Jesse, we're not gonna stop making the videos anytime soon. I'm doubling down. I just finished a filming day today. We spent all day filming videos. We're gonna give you more and more. We're gonna give you all more. So that's a Tuesday challenge for y'all. All right. So tomorrow, 5 o'clock, West Coast time, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We're gonna come back for the late night show. And I need somebody to remind me that we did this Tuesday challenge, right? So we're gonna wake up tomorrow and we're gonna challenge the world and see how good of a day we will have tomorrow. Okay. So I'm curious. I'm gonna see how good of a day we have. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do for tomorrow. I can't talk for some reason. All right. So hope y'all have a fantastic night. For everybody who's tuned in, I really appreciate you all. We're gonna keep it going. The videos, we're gonna keep those coming as well. So until next time, which is tomorrow night, you all have a fantastic night, and I will see y'all then. Peace.